African Americans, both enslaved and free, fought for their country and their rights. What were their experiences as soldiers like? What roles did they play? How did their involvement shape the course of the war and the future of the United States? The outbreak of the Civil War in 1861 marked a turning point for the nation. Initially, federal policies prevented black men from enlisting in the Union Army. Yet, as the war progressed, things have changed. By 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation changed the history for the blacks as it opened the door for African Americans to serve in the army. African Americans were no longer just bystanders in the war. They were active participants in shaping its outcome. 186,000 black soldiers served in the Union Army and another 29,000 served in the Navy, making it more than 200,000 black men taking a role in the war. Their enlistment was not just about military necessity, it was a statement of purpose, a fight for their own future.
The service of African American soldiers in the Civil War was not just about the battle. It was about proving how worthy they were as a soldier and requiring recognition as equal citizens. Before 1863, many people have doubted the blacks' ability to fight, but regiments like the 54 Massachusetts Infantry proved everyone wrong. Their bravery at Fort Wagner in July 1863 reconsiders its view, despite the heavy loss and the many people dying.
Behind the battle, the black soldiers played a critical role as laborers, spies, and medical workers. Thousands of African Americans worked in supply chains, building fortifications, transporting goods, and assisting in hospitals. Their involvement extended beyond the battlefield, aiding the Union Army. Despite their dedication and sacrifice, African American soldiers faced discrimination both on and off the battlefield. According to Daniel Murray's pamphlets, black soldiers were subjected to a lower wage. The white soldiers received $13 a month. However, black soldiers were initially paid only $10 a month, and even then, $3 was automatically deducted for clothing expenses, leaving them with no money. This unequal treatment continuously happened until 1864, when, after consistent protests and demands for equal treatment from African Americans, Congress granted equal pay. But difference in wages was not the only discrimination that African Americans had to deal with. African American regiments were often given the most grueling and dangerous tasks, such as digging trenches, building fortification, and handling supplies, while being denied opportunities for promotion. Even in battles, black soldiers were sometimes sent to the front line with barely getting support, facing greater risks to die than their white counterparts.
Many white officers and politicians feared what full equality would mean, thinking, if the African Americans could fight and die for the Union, how could the nation justify denying them the right to citizenship? The bravery of black troops forced the country to confront its own contradictions.
Despite their contribution to the Civil War, the treatment changed the mindset. Now, the American Civil War was more than just a clash between the Union and the Confederacy for the African Americans.
The Civil War was fought with cannons and rifles, but at its heart, it was a battle over freedom for African Americans. But what did freedom mean for 4 million enslaved African Americans in 1861? And how did this brutal war set the stage for their civil rights?
When the war began, Lincoln's goal was to preserve the Union, not to end slavery. But as the conflict deepened, the war's goal slowly shifted into a fight for the freedom of slaves.
That on the first day of January, the year of our Lord 1863, that all persons held as slaves within any states or designated power of states, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free.
In 1863, though it may not have been purely for moral reasons but also for the strategic advantage of the North, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring the freedom of slaves only in Confederate states and allowing the black people to join the army. Though it didn't free all enslaved people or grant them civil rights, it changed the war's purpose. The Union was now fighting for both unity and the freedom of slaves. 200,000 black men fought for the Union, partially because of the promises made from the Emancipation Proclamation. Their dedication in the war raised the question, if they could fight for the nation, why couldn't they be full citizens?
We were freed. We had no money, no land. The old masters still had power. New laws kept us under their rule.
After the war, Southern states passed the Black Codes in 1865, laws that limited the rights of freed African Americans. Their goal was to maintain a labor force similar to slavery, but freedom without rights was no freedom at all. The Union victory and the abolition of slavery fundamentally changed the way that people defined freedom and citizenship. The Republican Party, which had led the fight against slavery, believed that true national unity required not just the end of slavery, but to have previously enslaved people as equal citizens. To do this, the nation needed new laws. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery completely. The 14th granted citizenship, and the 15th protected black men's right to vote. For the first time, African Americans had a voice in the government. Leaders like Hiram Revels, the first black US Senator, and Blanche K. Bruce, who served in Congress, symbolized this new era. The Civil War redefined freedom and rights in America, though it started as an attempt to strategically win the South. Because of declarations such as the Emancipation Proclamation, freedom no longer was a privilege reserved for a select few. It became a promise for and to all. With the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, the 14th granting citizenship, and the 15th protecting the right to vote, a new era was born. For the first time, African Americans had a voice in the government. Leaders like Hiram Revels and Blanche K. Bruce symbolized a historic transformation. Yet, the battle for true equality did not end on the battlefield, or with the passing of these amendments. The struggle continued against the laws and practices that sought to strip away these hard-won rights.